Hi, and welcome to a Penjee video on advanced debugging strategies. As your programs get longer and more complex, so does the time it will take you to debug your larger and more complex code. The good news is that there are some strategies and some tools that programmers use to more quickly identify and fix bugs in code. Some of these tools are typically built into a code editor. For instance, the single step button is a great tool for tracing out line by line what is going on with your code. And we're going to make use of the single step button in our short video together right now. Other strategies do not involve the code editor itself, but belong more to the realm of problem solving or of just using your brain to think about the quickest way to diagnose and fix a logic error in your code. So let's get down to looking at a specific example so we can look at a real map and a real assignment. What you're looking at in front of you right now on the screen is the next assignment that you're going to do. You're going to be given the code on the left, and you're going to have to solve the map on the right. We're going to have to get all these fish. So the first thing you should do is run the code. So let's see what happens when we run this code. Run continuously to do it real quick. And as you can see, our penguin Pam does a pretty good job. She gets all the way through this corridor of rocks fine. Then when she gets to the cube, she gets most of the fish. But our if test, which relates to gathering all these fish, has some kind of logic error in it somewhere because this fish is not grabbed. So what's interesting about this map is that the beginning of the program, all of these steps here work great. It's only when we get to this if test that we run into problems. And I talked earlier about tools that help you debug, and the first tool that you have in Penjee, like I said, is the single step button. So whenever you're stumped and don't understand why something's happening in your code or why the penguin isn't doing what you think it should be doing, you should always think about how you can use the single step button to trace out your program and go line by line to see where things went wrong in your commands. The problem in this case, and it's a problem that you will have to deal with in future challenges, is that you would have to hit single step so many times just to get to the problem, right? You would have to keep on pressing single step, single step, single step to get Pam through this beginning part. So that's a big waste of time. And one of the things that we're trying to learn right now is ways to debug programs in a more timely way. So one thing that you can do is you can say, hey, I don't have to start Pam at 6-0. Now, when you're doing challenges in Penjee, you have to start the penguin in certain places in order to complete the assignment. So what we're going to do is we realize that, but we're going to temporarily change where Pam starts so that she's beginning right before the problem begins. And the problem begins when our if test starts. Our if test is where the cube is, and we're going to move Pam to the cell right before the cube. That's row 6, column 16. So until I can figure out what's wrong with the if test, I'm going to make us start at row 6, column 16. This is just going to speed things up a lot. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. Single step, and I'm already all the way down here. Now that's row 15 instead of row 0. That was about 15 button clicks that I saved. And we can get right into the problem. Okay, we're going to waddle once, and we're going to enter our if test. And our goal right now is just to step by step through this until we can see where in our code we screwed up, where we didn't add the instructions that would get this extra fish there. So single step, and as you probably can see, the beginning part's going to be okay. I know that right now I'm at the part where there's a problem, and I'm about to turn right on line 19. And I can see that that's a problem because what I really want to do is go forward one, grab that fish, and return to this position. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to edit the code right now and keep Pam right where she is so I can try to figure out what instructions do I need to add in this area so that Pam goes forward one, grabs the fish, and returns. Well, she's got to waddle forward one, and now she's that she's out on the end here, we have to turn her around, right? So whenever you want to turn a penguin around, you can just turn left twice or turn right twice, right? So these instructions, and let me put a comment here, begin new code. Okay, so this is where I know I'm beginning some new instructions. I waddled out, I turned around, and I need to waddle back, right? So now that I'm turned around, Pam's going to need to waddle back to where she is right now in this picture. However, Pam would actually be facing the other way at this point, right? And we need to turn, right? So Pam.turn. Now, if she's facing the rocks, we're going to have to turn left. And I'm no longer going to want to turn right. Okay, so I use the step-by-step editor to pause it right before the problem and to add a bunch of instructions. Now, what you always want to do is repeat the exact exercise. Continue starting right before the problem and see if your new code fixed the problem. Okay, here's the new code. Waddle, turn around, waddle, turn left. Ooh. So you can see, I actually did forget an instruction there. I had Pam waddle out an extra time, turn around, waddle back, and turn left to get back facing the correct way. But we actually didn't fix the main problem we had, which is we didn't grab the fish there. So before we turn left twice, that's when we turn around, we should add another grab to get the actual fish. Repeat the process one more time to verify that everything is okay, and if not, to make more changes, but this should do it. There you go. As you can see, we have fixed the bug, and now let's just verify that everything works, and it does. So this particular strategy works very well when there's a problem in your code that doesn't happen until your program has run for a while, and you want to use the single step button, like always, to trace out and fix errors. Remember, just place your penguin right before the problem begins. And then repeat the process that we did together. You single step until you can fix the code, and then you verify it, and you just keep repeating this process until you're 100% sure that the logic error is gone, like it is in our case. Now, once you've done that, and when you're doing an actual Penjee challenge, remember you have to put Pam back to whatever starting position you're required to start her at. So if it was 0, you just go back to 0 and you should complete the assignment. This is the actual challenge that you're going to do right after this video.